Alright, Milad, brother. Shalom. Giving all praises, all glories, and all honors unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful and sincere elect out there. Alright? And the brother was doing some research on the Devil's Punch Bowl. You know, and it goes into how people was in the brother gave me an article, and you can expound on it. Basically, concentration camps.
Which is coming right back to America, man, via the FEMA camp. So it's really nothing new under the sun. And the article explains everything. How 20,000 Israelites were basically put into basically like something like a bowl and put to death right after they supposedly got free from slavery. You know, but you gotta go.
So yeah, this is the article on Black Main Street. Alright, and the title is Never Forget the Devil's Punch Bowl. 20,000 freed slaves died after being forced into post-slavery concentration camp.
Okay, and then you could go into that word devil, which in the Greek is diablos, right? I'm gonna try to get it in the Hebrew as well, but it's just an accuser, you know, because those people, and this is furthermore proof that you know that this man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, you know, because why else would they call it the devil's punch bowl? You know, if it wasn't speaking on, and whose punch bowl was it? It was Esau's. You know, so they telling on themselves, man. This been around for a long time now. You know, but they want to make it seem like a man in a red suit running around. You know, when it's actually talking about them. Right.
And that shows you right there that we wasn't free.
Exactly.
You know, they'll say that you're free. They'll make you think you're free. But then they'll force you into a concentration camp? Come on.
They'll force them to do harder labor than they actually did when they were slave on the plantation.
So it says, history has always made concentration camps to be synonymous with the atrocities of Nazi Germany.
Because they trying to, now you got the Nazi Germans, which me and the brother reading the book, the 13th Tribe. So you got the Germans, which is Ashkenaz, which they were you know, so-called, they were descendants of Amalek, you know, Khazars, Salaki, they were Khazars. So that the Khazars go back to what? Amalek. Amalek goes back to Esau.
Here's the book that me and his brother been going into more. This book makes them tell them themselves.
That's right.
Where they came from.
That's right.
How they try to go to war with the Russians and the Germany and try to create their own state, their own religion, their own.
You see that, and it mentions Germany, so you could take that all the way back to Esau, because Amalek is the grandson of Esau. Now you get the Khazars come from Amalek, then the Ashkenaz. Ashkenaz is what? The Germans, right? So the modern day Germans and Hitler, he was one of them. The Ashkenazi Germans, you know. I mean, Ashkenazi Jews, that's why and they tried to make his people look like they went through what we went through. But we're about to read but we went through that right here in Babylon, man. You know, and amongst other places as well.
Hey, and before that, they were just settlers.
Yeah.
But it says, but America has its own dirty secrets about the use of concentration camps. These camps were located in Natchez, Mississippi, and were used to corral freed slaves during and after the American Civil War.
So see that right there?
That's heavy.
Read that again.
Hey, because the Civil War was that's when they was fighting for peace. You know, that's when America was going to war with the Germans. You know, that's how they funded the 13 colonies and, you know, the blue coats versus the red coats. And they were going to war to forget the name of it, but like a
Sure.
peace for peace. You know, that's when they found peace during 1776.
Yeah, kind.
That's
Oh,
when
the British.
Yeah.
The scripture tells you that.
Oh, the War of Independence. That was the War of Independence, Salakia.
Oh, shit. Well, let me grab a swift.
That's why what? They had something called what? Independence Day.
Kind, exactly.
You know?
Kind.
When they settled the war with the Germans and all that. That was during the time of George Washington. Which they were all Masons, man.
Kind. But check this out. Let me start real quick.
That's when they brought the slaves to the port by the water.
Kind, that's right. This is Isaiah 47 and starting at verse 1.
1776. That was what, 17, 18, 19, 20. That was almost about like 300 years ago.
Kind. Yeah, kind. Matter of fact, this is Isaiah chapter 47, verse 3, just to get right to the point. It says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. Right? And that's just one part of it. But it says, I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. But the point is, it says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. It says, yeah, thy shame shall be seen. So these things right here that we're reading of, America tried to hide that. And they would make you think that they was they think they're the greatest nation on the earth. But now that all this information is coming out on them, man, you know, and that's what we're here to do, to bring it out. They expose them, you know. So and the more they get exposed, they know that their rulership is over, man. Their kingdom is falling, man. And the more we bring it out, the more they look bad, man. And all these other nations see that as well. It's not good.
So it says, as slaves were being emancipated from the plantations,
So-called emancipated.
right, their route to freedom usually took them in the vicinity of the Union Army forces, which is like the place that they went to.
Yeah,
Unhappy with the slaves being freed, the army began recapturing the slaves and forced the men back into hard labor camps.
right, so see, that lets you know right there that this man is a devil, man. This man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And he freed them, but they was unhappy with them being freed. So they went back to recapture them. So that goes to the scripture, Sirach chapter 12 and 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusted, so is his wickedness, man. So they trusted this man to be free. And they saw how their population from this one town just went down real fast in one day. That makes me think about going back to ancient Egypt, man, with Pharaoh. When he let the people go, after he finally let us go in the first Exodus, right, he saw how much that he lost. Like, damn, these people are truly great, man. They had our economy going, they kept it going. You know, without them, what do we have? We don't got nothing, man. You know? So that forced him to go chase after the slaves. But see, it was our time to be delivered at that time. You know, at this time, it wasn't our time to be delivered. That's why what happened that way. But they went about the same, they was in the same spirit as the Pharaoh. Chasing back after Israel. Like, nah, we ain't letting y'all niggas go. Fuck that. Y'all built this up like this. We need y'all. You know? But matter of fact, that brings me to real fast to Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. And it says, and the Lord Yahweh shall bring them into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto them. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. So we was still in that captivity. We thought that we was free right here in Babylon, but they let us know that we wasn't. So these words still they stand true. You know, no man saved us, no man bought us. You know, even going to Martin Luther King, I was watching a video on this earlier, and the dude was like, yeah, man, you know, we got to be thankful for our ancestors, because what would you be in America without them, without what they went through and all that? Right? He's a fool, man. He don't understand his judgment and his punishment while we're still here in America, man.
Done. So it says, the most notorious of the several concentration camps that were established was located in Nasjet, Mississippi.
Mississippi is one of them. They hate Jake down there, heavy, man.
It's one of the most racist countries.
They was one of the last states to free the slaves.
You could get 50.
Go ahead, bro.
So, furthering on Deuteronomy 28,
I got that 50.
28 and 50, yeah. It says, a nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
That's right. And I'm glad he brought that out, because when you get further down into this article, it basically explains how when they recaptured the slaves and put them in this concentration camp, they separated the women and children from the men. You know, and they was separated by I think it was like a brick wall or concrete wall. So where they put the men to work and the women and children was left there to die, man. You know, starved to death and all that. Which, hey, man, history repeats itself. So that's we coming up to the same thing now. You know, that's why we're in a day of atonement now, and we asking for an atonement for our sins. You know, so we don't have to see these things, man. If we see them, we won't be taken by them. You know.
So it says, as the slaves made their way to freedom, so-called, the town of Nasjes went from a population of 10,000 to 120,000 people almost overnight.
But that's all the slaves that ran over there because they was free, supposedly.
In order to deal with the population influx of recently freed slaves, a concentration camp was established to essentially eradicate the slaves.
See that? So that's that mass genocide. You know, going to the Georgia Guidestones. That's what Esau is all about. Matter of fact, you bring out
That's what you got now.
Yeah,
all these FEMA camps.
That's right. Yup.
There's at least more than 1,000 FEMA camps in almost each state.
That's right.
You know, so while the people think they're free now, this is gonna happen again. Because what's Bill Gates and them talking about? Is all the overpopulation of people. You know, where me, the brother, and the elder was even talking about it, how you could fit the whole world in the state of Texas. You know, so that overpopulation agenda is bullshit. It's just to what? To eradicate primarily you Israelites, man.
That's right.
So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native and Seminole Indians.
That's right. So this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 5. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh Bashim Shah power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. See if thou haste not hatred, blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So even when we thought our iniquity had an end and they had an end, we thought that we was free, you know? And what they do, they still shed the blood of us, man. You know, because they knew what they was taking us there for. They like, oh, these niggas ain't moving in our neighborhood, you know, fucking up and everything. Because, you know, we was fresh out of slavery. So they still look down on us, man, as they always did. But our people, you know, they want to be buddy with them and, you know, just fit in with it. But time and time again, like the brother brought out earlier, man, he said it's about to be the same thing all over again. You're going right back into them concentration camps, and guess what? You're going there to die. If you don't get that shit, you know.
What they call America, the land of the free.
Yeah, the land of the free, home of the brave.
But now, if you don't wear a mask, you're gonna get locked up. This is just a contradiction.
Man, this man's a devil, man.
Matter of fact, that precept you brought out earlier mentioned there's no new thing under the sun.
Oh yeah,
that goes into reincarnation, but it still stands because everything comes back.
Right, yeah.
Cities reincarnate, spirits reincarnate. You know, it's not only just people. It's the spirit. Like, for instance, America's not called Rome But it's the spirit of Rome that came back. You know what I mean?
I'll get that with that. That's true. Shit, what's that one, man?
Because like when we was in slavery, they had masks. They made us have masks, wear masks. Like during hardcore transatlantic sub-Saharan slave trade. They had muzzles on us.
Yo,
and now they got us with masks. I could get it done with it. I know there's that. Yeah.
Exactly. That's right, yo. So it's nothing. It actually is nothing new under the sun. Because that muzzle, and man, and that lets you know what's about to happen. We never stopped being slaves. But so they brought us over here with masks on our face. You know what I'm saying? So now you gotta wear a mask again. So what you about to go back into? Them concentration camps, man. Into slavery, man. So they let like, hey man, like the brother said, man, things reincarnate, cities reincarnate, and this is reincarnated, man. This mass genocide that we're about to go through is reincarnating itself all over again.
Hey, and also the destruction of this place. Because the Lord said what? He requires that which is past.
Damn.
So if he destroy, and that's in the same chapter. You know? But this is Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 9. It says, the thing that have been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun.
That's right. That which shall be is that which shall be done, man. So that certain things that already happened is going to happen again. You know, so that's why they're preparing you with the mask, because they know what they're doing. That we brought these niggas over here with masks. We're going to send them out with masks again. They're not knowing that the Lord Yahweh Shem Shah is coming to deliver his men, man. You know?
It says, the women and children were locked behind the concrete walls of the camp, like you were saying. The concrete walls of the camp, and left to die from starvation.
So what they starting to do now, they separating the women from the children. Matter of fact, they already started doing that with the Mexicans, the Issacharites. You know, that's trying to come over here. They throw them in concentration camps and separate the families, man. You know, they might have the men over here, the women and children and everything. So they're going to do the same thing. And you're going to be left to die if you don't get that shit.
That's heavy.
So it's nothing new under the sun, man, you know?
I actually seen a video on it. Somebody was recording on the outside. He was recording them. And they were crying. They were like, yo, we didn't shower for, I think it was like 40 days or something. You just think about that, you know? You inside of a box with a bunch of men that ain't showered, breath stink, all that. Morning, hungry, starving.
And yo,
that'll make them try to eat each other. So like,
that's not good, man. That's right. Nah, you was right, bro.
Because what they did, even in the movie, they show you the Django, how they split up the families right in front of them, and then sold the boy for a harlot, a girl for wine.
That's crazy. And yo, that brings about a lot of diseases too. You know, from people who are not washing properly for a long time. That's all type of bacteria and everything in the air and all that, man. So that'll cause diseases if people start dying, which is going to tell you in the article as well. So that same thing is coming back in effect.
So it says, many also died from the smallpox disease.
Yeah.
In total, over 20,000 freed slaves were killed in 1 year inside of this American concentration camp. A researcher studying the existence of concentration camps said the Union Army did not allow them to remove the bodies from the camp. They just gave them shovels and said bury them where they drop.
I got a piece of it real fast. And that's crazy. So see that right there? It said let them just bury them where they drop. You know, so they was busting them men's ass, man. So this is here we go. This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, verse 23. It says, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. You know? So them dudes, they was cast out as dung, basically. You know? Yo, just burying wherever they stand at. They ain't give a fuck about them bodies, man. Because they was Israelites. You know? So they just, wherever you drop that, that's your grave, man. You know? So a lot of people, a lot of Israelites died. They said 20,000 in what, one day? Within a day, man. That's crazy.
And this also shows how we kept, like, populated, because we're in captivity.
Exactly.
So they probably like, damn, there's so many of them.
Niggas like vultures.
It's harder to, when people populate, it's harder to control. But, so it says, the camp was called the Devil's Punch Bowl because of the way the area is shaped. The camp was located at the bottom of a cavernous pit with trees located on the bluffs above.
See that? So yo, it said there was a pit. That's where it was at. So that's actually hell, man. Because if you look into the word hell, it's Sheol in the Hebrew, which means grave or the pit. So the people were thrown in the grave, and in the pit, and that became their grave, because that's where they died at, man. You know, and the punch bowl. When you think of punch, you think about red juice. You know, so the devil's punch bowl, the devil shed our blood there, or let our blood be shed there. You know, the blood of the saints. So yo, then they say it's still when I think it mentions it in there that when it floods down there, it's still actual bones that wash up the shore from our ancestors, man. So that's how I know that it's speaking about a man when it talks about a devil, and they told it itself in the article. The devil's punch bowl, man. You know, the devil's bowl, like that's, and then the valley, and it's a low land. So that's a valley basically, that punch bowl. So the devil he got low morals, man. You know, and he put us in there. But he's gonna be cast into a pit of salt, man. You know?
Just like how they do to us now when we in prison systems. They put you in the hole. It says, today the bluffs are known for the wild peach groves, but the locals will not eat any of the fruits because some are aware of what has fertilized the trees.
And I bet you they'll sell them to us though. They probably ship them out all over America. These peaches, man. You don't know what the hell you're eating, man. And that's a devil. And once again, even the peaches, the fruit down there, became good fruit because of us, man. From our actual flesh, man, fertilizing the land, man. That's where you get that fruit from. And I was watching a video when they actually showed them breaking the fruit open, and I'm like, damn, they look real juicy and everything, man.
It says one researcher has noted that skeletal remains still washed up when the area becomes flooded by the Mississippi River. Even when America tries to bury its racist ways, we must force America to acknowledge what has occurred and not shy away from the truth.
That's right.
Let's never forget all the freed slaves that died in American concentration camps at the Devil's Punch Bowl.
See that? So I'm going to bring out this precept real fast. This is Revelation, if you got anything, brother.
And devil just means deceiver.
That's right, kind of.
So they deceived them, saying they were free.
That's right.
And then caught them with a blind eye.
That's right. Kind
Because that's also having a double tongue, man. Never trust our enemy.
That's right.
You know?
And then we know that since, that's something that happened already, and it's about to happen again, and because we in that season for that. So this is Revelation chapter 2 and verse 10. It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil, so this we get the devil's punch bowl, that's how you know it's talking about a man and not a spiritual being. It says, behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life, man. So you're not supposed to fear none of these things. We hear about it, we heard about it, and we just sitting here waiting for it, and praying that the Lord actually delivers us out of these things. Like I said, we're in a day of atonement right now. We just praying for deliverance and complete mercy, man. That's what we want. Because like it says, history repeats itself. That's why I'm glad we stumbled across that article, to bring out for further. If you haven't heard about the Devil's Punch Bowl, you might want to look into it, and further do research on it, So we got anything going? Matthew. Just to furthermore bring out edification on this man being the devil.
Remember, this ain't live, so it's going to take longer for it to upload.
I'm just going to do this real quick. All right, Ben, just to bring out that this man is the devil, when Yahweh Shah was tempted by him. This is Matthew chapter 4, verse 1. It says, then was Yahweh Shah led up of the spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. All right. It says, and when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungry. So, hey man, he just finished fasting, which we're doing right now because we're in the Day of Atonement, and that's what you're supposed to be doing. He was tempted of the devil, and that's when he tried to get you, because he was at the end of his fast. He haven't even eaten yet. He fasted 40 days and 40 nights, and he was hungry as hell. So the devil jumped right on him, man. It says, and when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of God, the Most High, command that these stones be made bread. So the first way he attacked him is what? With food, because he know how to get at you. But that's why you got to resist the devil and he'll flee. It says, but he answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High. Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and setteth him on the pinnacle of the temple, and saith unto. But he took him to the holy city. So what's that? That's Jerusalem, man. Then, they was running things. Then that's why Yahweh Shah said what he said. It says, and saith unto him, if thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down from this Salaki. Cast thyself down. Hold on. All right, come. It says, for it is Salaki. I'm going to read that again. Verse 5, it says, then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and sitteth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and saith unto him, if thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Yahweh Shah said unto him, it is written, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy power, Yahweh thy power, against it. And again, because he kept trying to come at him, man, and Yahweh Shah shut him down every time. So you know this man's the devil, man. It said, and again the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mount, and sheweth him the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them, and saith unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then saith Yahweh Shah unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Yahweh thy power, and him only shalt thou serve. Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. So that's what we have to do, man, when the devil comes to tempt us. Because that's coming, man, the hour of temptation, which Yahweh Shah went through, and he passed it with flying colors, man. And that's just, I brought that out just to prove, that's the devil is a man, that Yahweh Shah got tempted by. And that right immediately after, because he resisted the devil and he fled from him, because he couldn't test him no more, man. Then the angels came and ministered to him, man. Good job, man. You did the right thing. This, that, and the third. That's basically it, man. Unless you got anything, bro.
And that shows you right there who's ruling. Job chapter 9, verse 24, the earth is given unto the hands of the wicked.
That's right.
So we're going to be tested. We're tested on a daily basis.
That's right.
We're battling spirits. Especially in these times around, spirits are going to get heavy, man. The demons going to get heavy, and we may catch ourselves slipping here and there, but we always got to maintain our focus on what the goal is. And matter of fact, where it says believes in Revelation, where it speaks about I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation.
Come across your word.
I believe that's Revelation 2 and 10, if I'm not mistaken. Because you get locked up, you're going to be tried.
Con.
You know what I mean? You're going to be tested. Hey man, just like the 7 sons in the book of Maccabees.
Con.
You know, they held their faith
To death.
to death.
It's 3:10, huh?
Dude,
This is Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. Matter of fact, let's go up with it. This is the book of Revelation chapter 3, verse 9. It says, Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews or not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and know that I have loved thee, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. That's heavy.
it's going to be global.
And let's get
It's going to be a global thing, you know?
let's get that word world in that text, so you know which world it's talking about, you know, because people get the words misconstrued. So the word world in Revelations 3:10, bear with me, because then it says that that's going to come on the whole earth, right? So the word war is oikoman, I believe.
Strong's G 3625.
Oikomene. So the word in that text for world is oikomene, all right, which is it says the inhabited earth, the portion of the earth inhabited by the Greeks, in distinction from the lands of the barbarians, the Roman Empire, all the subjects of the empire, the whole inhabited earth, the world, the inhabitations of the earth, men, the universe, the world. So that's the whole globe, man. You know, that's what the hour of temptation is going to hit, the whole world. So that's why it's important to look up these different words, so you know what world is what is we're talking about. You know.
You mentioned the Greek distinction from the lands of the barbarians. The barbarians, the Edomites.
Okay.
But it mentioned 2 kingdoms.
Okay.
Because we know primarily America, this kingdom is going to be destroyed.
That's right.
Like the earth is going to abide.
Okay.
Matter of fact, yo, that's the spirit.
Right there.
There's Ecclesiastes chapter 1 verse 4. One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh.
That's right.
So we at the time where this generation is going to pass away,
Right.
and for one to come,
That's right.
which is the kingdom of heaven that shall be done on, established on earth.
Okay.
It says, but the earth abideth forever.
Okay.
So hey man, these kingdoms that's ruling is going to be destroyed. Because you got kingdoms that's throughout the whole earth.
That's right.
But when Yahweh shall come back, he's going to establish the everlasting kingdom. And all these kings and governors that's ruling today, they're going to be out of the picture.
That's right.
That's why the Lord said he's the King of kings. So
Okay. The Lord of Lords.
the Lord's going to, you keep your faith until that day, and the Lord will keep you in the hour of temptation.
That's right.
You know?
That's all right.
You can close it, Lord.
With that, man, we hope that this lesson was edifying, man. Hope it made sense. You know, just look into it, man. Do some more research, man. And just keep studying, fasting, and praying, man, that the Lord add on to you. With that, we're going to say shalom to the next lesson.
Shalom.
Death to America.
Come on.